There are indications that the third seal has been broken. Tariff tax leading the world into inflation. Wars cause inflation. Inflation is setting a stage for economic reset into the beast system using Bitcoin. The beast system is escorting in the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is setting a stage for the Antichrist. Revelation 6 verse 5. When Jesus opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come and see." Notice, John was invited to come and see. Meaning not every will see the last day prophecy, but in fact God blind the eyes of those who did not truly believe in Jesus Christ. So John looked, and behold, a black horse, and he who sat on it had a pair of scales in his hand. The color black often symbolized dreadful things in the Bible. It reflected sin, death, famine, and disease. John saw the rider holding a pair of scales. Scales were often used in commerce in ancient times. Buyers and sellers would use scales to measure the amount, weight, of an item that would be used to trade. Common item scales would weigh the goods, like tariffs, taxes. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four living creatures saying, "A quart of wheat for a denarius, and 3 quarts of barley for a denarius, and do not harm the oil and the wine." The symbol of the scales likely indicates the unequal balance of commerce that will occur in the days of the tribulation and the days leading up to that time. In other words, the amount of money that will be paid for food will far outweigh the amount of food that will be purchased. In this case, this is known as inflation. Notice wheat and barley is affected but not harm the oil and the wine. Grain is used to be filler in most poor country like flour and rice. But oil and wine is a picture of what the rich would use during John days. So in this third seal, famine will not affect the elite group, because the elite is in control of the reset. In order to bring the beast system, the elite need to inflate the old to create a new one. The new system will involve the mark to purchase and to sell that a one-world finance system like Bitcoin. To get everyone on board, they will create false peace and deception. Please watch and see.
Well, China is pushing ahead into a cashless society. It's creating a new digital currency to replace paper money and coins. It will also give the Communist Party total knowledge of how the Chinese people are spending their money.
We have some good people. Today, Taiwan Semiconductor is announcing that they will be investing at least $100 billion in new capital in the United States over the next short period of time to build state-of-the-art semiconductor manufacturing facilities. I think mostly it's going to be in Arizona, which is what I understand, which is a great state. I like it because I won it, but I won most of them actually. But we won it, and we won it big. The most powerful AI chips in the world will be made right here in America, and it'll be a big percentage of the chips made by his company. But as you know, they're based mostly in Taiwan, and they're far and away the biggest. There's nobody even close. This $100 billion in new investment will go into building 5 cutting-edge fabrication facilities in the great state that we just discussed, Arizona. And
Central banks around the world have injected money into the economy at a record pace to try to fight a global recession triggered by the coronavirus pandemic.
Just getting word from the Federal Reserve.
Bombshell announcement from the Federal Reserve.
It is an absolutely historic week, both in terms of the speed of Fed purchases and, of course, the magnitude.
Since mid-March, the Federal Reserve's balance sheet has ballooned from $4 trillion to around $7 trillion, equal to about 1/3 of the value of the entire American economy.
A new CNBC survey showing that market participants expecting trillions more in stimulus from both the central bank and Congress.
At the same time, governments have enacted record amounts of fiscal stimulus to boost economies stalled by the pandemic. The infusion of cash into the financial system has renewed concerns that inflation could surge.
in a few moments, I will sign a historic executive order instituting reciprocal tariffs on countries throughout the world.
Over the first half of the 2020s, the prices that Americans pay for items of all kinds rose at a fast pace. Higher tariff rates could make prices begin to climb again. This happens if businesses mark up their products.
A business markup is the difference between what a business spends and what it ask the consumer to pay. Because most producers and retailers charge a markup, it's really important to take into account how these markups respond to cost changes of imported components.
But we have the right man, we have the right leader of Israel. He's done a great job, and we've been friends for a long time, and we do a great job also.
To accomplish that, Israel's pummeling the Gaza Strip with hundreds of airstrikes, demolishing this 14-story building that it says was used by Hamas.
The national debt stands currently at about $36.2 trillion, and every day, the U.S. spends about $2.6 billion paying the interest on that debt. This is according to the nonprofit, the Peter G. Peterson Foundation. The U.S. has carried debt since its founding, but the amount added to its balance sheet has increased significantly during times of national emergency, according to the Treasury Department. For example, the debt ballooned 4,000% during the Civil War from $65 billion to $3 billion. It increased 381% during the Great Depression, as Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal programs cost billions. And it grew 217% during the U.S. wars in Iraq and Afghanistan between 2001 and 2021.
President Donald Trump has inched closer to fulfilling his promise to make the United States the so-called crypto capital of the planet. On Thursday, he signed an executive order to establish a strategic cryptocurrency reserve.
What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is the world's first cryptocurrency, and it works because of the world's first public blockchain network. What does Bitcoin do? It's simple. It lets you send and receive value to and from anyone in the world using nothing more than a computer and an internet connection. Now, why is it revolutionary? Because unlike every other tool for sending money over the internet, it works without the need to trust a middleman. The lack of any corporation in between means that Bitcoin is the world's first public digital payments infrastructure.
We have some good people. Today, Taiwan Semiconductor is announcing that they will be investing at least $100 billion in new capital in the United States over the next short period of time to build state-of-the-art semiconductor manufacturing facilities. I think mostly it's going to be in Arizona, which is what I understand, which is a great state. I like it because I won it, but I won most of them actually. But we won it, and we won it big. The most powerful AI chips in the world will be made right here in America, and it'll be a big percentage of the chips made by his company. But as you know, they're based mostly in Taiwan. As you know, Taiwan pretty much has a monopoly on that market, and I think pretty much is not a term that's even appropriate. They do have a monopoly, and this is a tremendous move by the most powerful company in the world. It's a matter of economic security. It's also a matter of national security for us. And at the same time,
the president's here now.
Approaching the podium right now, being introduced by Klaus Schwab, who is the head of the World Economic Forum. Again, Donald Trump taking the stage here in Davos.
Congratulations on your 50th year hosting the annual meeting of the World Economic Forum, a truly amazing achievement.
Now is a historical moment, a time, not only to fight severe virus, but to shape the system.
We have a unique but rapidly shrinking window of opportunity to learn lessons and reset ourselves on a more sustainable path. It is an opportunity we have never had before and may never have again. So we must use all the levers we have at our disposal, knowing that each and every one of us has a vital role to play.
Now is the time to think what history would say about this crisis. And now is the time for all of us to define our own role. What is it that would make it so that history would look at this crisis as the great opportunity for reset?